it's the cost of his higher ability. So Maya here has adrenaline shot that costs 2 and fury arrows that costs 3. So the maximum focus I can have is 3 because it's the value of my most expensive skill. So once I get focus on later turns and I have 2 or maybe 3, I can spend this on my turn as a free action. It will not count on my 2 action cubes. As a free action, I can spend this focus to do an adrenaline shot and make 3 arrows of +0 hits. So this is a really powerful attacks that you have. Okay, so this is focused on how it works. Whenever you kill a monster on the dungeon, like I said before, you will advance your level up track, which is this one. So whenever it's, let's say it was like this, just in purpose of explaining. Whenever we kill this guy and this comes up, skill ability level up. So what you do is you will choose one of your skills and unlock it. So let's say I want this skill here because I think it's good, or headshot. Let's say I want headshot. So I unlock this and discard this cube, and I gain a red cube from it because I chose a red skill. So I gain a red cube. So if I have unlocked these, I gain a blue cube, and so on. So in this way, you are building up your action cubes pool, okay? And it's getting harder and harder to get the darkness to get you, or maybe not. Maybe you were spending too much cubes on your turn, and you have to manage your resources because you can discard to reroll. Or like I said, you can discard another cube to move an extra 3 movement besides your move 3. So you can move 3 for free, but you can discard another action cube to move another 3. That's how you move on the game, and you also have moving abilities and skills on your green actions. Okay, and then when another monster is killed, you go on your class board and you unlock 1 skill. So what you do is you get one of your class tokens and you put on top of any one of level 1 skills. Let's say this one. And this is a passive that you gain for the rest of the game. Okay, so it says here precision +1 hit. So what we do is I'll get a +1 token. Let me find it. I'll get a +1 token and put it over here, just a reminder, but I get this for the rest of the game. The next time it comes by, I can either, and I have to choose another class, I can either choose another level 1 to see the connections, or I can choose a level 2 from either one of these paths. I can go like this, or I can go like this and choose another level 1. You have 4 paths on your class board, and they spread from it. So I can choose this one and get passive crit 18, 19, 20. All my crits are 18, 19, 20. That's pretty cool. Okay, so one more thing. On your rolls, I just read this, I remember. On your rolls, you have a critical failure. Whenever you roll 1, you cannot discard a cube to re-roll. It's a critical failure. And you also have to discard 1 cube from it. So 1s are never good. And whenever you take, you roll a 20, it's automatic success, it's critical hit, you double your damage. So if I'm giving 4 damage, I'll double it, 8 damage on a monster. Okay, so it's automatic critical hit. Okay. The initiative track, how does it work? You have the higher numbers are on top of the arrow, the white arrow, and the black arrow are on the bottom. Okay, so you get your monster, you check which rune does it begin with, and check the arrows to see if it's, let's say, orange the top of orange bottom, if it's black arrow or white arrow. So, and you put all your monsters from your adventure over here on the adventure track, or the initiative track. You get the rune, the darkness card for the rune, and put on the gray, as stated here, on side A. And you get your initiative cards for all the heroes, and everybody in the beginning of the game roll for initiative, right? So I'm on 9, Maya has a +2, so she's on 11. So she'll play here, and we will have more heroes. Let's say the other guy roll 11 plus 1 is 12. 12 is here. Whenever it's here, for heroes only, you cannot stay on the same place. You have to bump someone down. So you guys choose among yourselves who stays here and who goes down on the initiative track. But let's just say she's like over here. Okay. And if there's 3 or more players, let's say Vorn is playing too and he's over here. If it's 3 or more players, you have darkness command orders to add to the initiative track as well. So with 3 players, you only add this darkness command order and you put it on green. The way the initiative track works is in the beginning of the game you have a marker that you put over here, and now it's this guy's turn, he plays, and then it's Lorelai's turn, and then Rotten Flash, Vorn, and so on, like this, and then it goes back over, okay? And when the token goes on top of the darkness command order, all the black monsters activate. So you have to check which ones the black symbol has on them. They activate it again. So it's a double activation with more players to make it a little difficult overall, okay? On the game, the darkness itself, it's a monster that we have to manage and run away from, okay? So whenever the order tile is on top of the rune, you says what it states here. It says draw 1 rune and flip this card. So what you do is you draw a rune from the bag. It's great. And you check which are the shapes here. Let me show you some different shapes. Like this. Tetris sizes shapes. So let's say I pick this one up. So I get the darkness tile for that shape, and on every room you have the darkness spawn point. So this darkness will chase the heroes on this adventure, okay? So you have to touch this, chasing the heroes, okay? So what the darkness does is, if let's say my guy is over here and the darkness touches him and gets him, you take automatically on the first adventure, you take 2 damage for getting caught by the darkness, and all your rolls, you have a -2 on your rolls if you're on top or adjacent to it, and all the monsters that have to be on top of the darkness tile or adjacent, they give you +1 damage, okay? So the darkness strengthens the monsters and weakens you, so you have to be aware and get out of there as soon as possible. The next tile that comes off from the darkness, you have to put adjacent, let's say it was this shape. You have to put somewhere touching the previously one, chasing the heroes. Let's say it's like this. You can go like this. This is just a prototype. We'll have a double-sided. So you caught him again. So you have to run. On the first adventure that you have, darkness will chase the hero, but every adventure, the darkness behavior will be different and will be stated on the adventure book, okay? The first adventure that you have, to set up, you have a promo adventure with you, And to set up, you have to just open door number 0, and it will show you, you get door number 0, you will open, read it, and it will show you how to set up the beginning of the game. From this point on, whenever you set up, let's say I'm making this setup here. I have to remove this. On this setup, it says to put the heroes on the stars, put the door number 1 here, and put an interaction token on top of a gargoyle. Let's say you enter a gargoyle's room and there's him over here, so you put an interaction token on it, okay? It will also say to open the interactions book on page 4, okay? So you get the interactions book, you open on page 3 or 4, as says on the card, and then these are all the interaction points that you can interact with, okay? So what you do is, whenever you are on top or adjacent to the interaction point and you are not engaged with any monsters, so like this I could interact with it, or like that I can interact with it. So if I'm not engaged in combat, I can interact with those points for free on my turn. I just discard this token and I choose my option, what I want to do. So let's say I want to pull the blue torch. Then I go on the adventure book and read the entry number 4. Okay, and it will say what's gonna happen or anything. Also, if I'm not engaged, I can open doors if I'm adjacent to them. Even breaking if it's part of my movement. Let's say I'm here and I can move 3. I go 1, I can open the door, assemble the next room, and keep my movement, okay? But let's say I stop here and I'm gonna open this door. So you literally open the door, you read the text, and we will tell you how to assemble the next room, okay? So this is a really cool idea that we have, that you have to really open the door and see what's going on, instead of reading it from a book and have to assemble the whole dungeon up front and stuff like that, okay? On the prototype that you have, this is early prototype stage, we have boxes, but you will have plastic trays with player board maps that you can put on top of them like this, okay? And those trays will be done by Game Trace from Noah. He's really good, so it will be awesome. But the ones we have, we just put them stickers on them. Okay, for monsters, the way they activate is they have a movement and a damage and a target, okay? So if he's not on the target, he's not on range of his target, he will move and then attack. All his stats are on the cards. Or if he's arranged and he's in range to attack, he will attack them. And it's automatic damage, okay? The way you mark health points for the monsters is, let's say it says that you have to put 2 monsters like this on the game, okay? So each monster will have a color base that you have to put them on them before playing. So let's say this guy says 3 life points per player, so this will have 6 health points. You put on yellow on this player board, 6 health points. On blue, you put the same. So whenever you hit this guy, you just lower his health track, okay? And the same goes here. Whenever a guy hits you, you go lower on this track, okay? And let's say you got so many damage that your life points is on 0, okay? What happened is you get knocked down, you cannot be targeted from enemies or friendly allies, and you will also recall all your cubes, and you gain a purple trauma cube, okay? This one is the same effect as the curse cube. It will block one of your skills, but it can never be cleansed. Okay, this is here for the whole game. You cannot cleanse purple cubes. And whenever it's your turn again on initiative track, you just get up and recover all the health, all your cubes, and then you start playing again. And if this by any chance it happens again and you already have a purple cube, then you're dead and the game is over. So ask your friends for help so this doesn't happen for you. Also, we have tokens for treasure chest. I'm using this as an example. We have treasure chest tokens. Whenever you pick up a token like this, you cannot, if you're engaged, you cannot grab it. But if you're not engaged, you can interact, just remove these and draw a card from the pile, and you see what type it is and if it fits your path. Some items can be used only by certain paths, so this is any path and it's a consumable item. It doesn't go here, it goes on my hand, on my bag, and I have 3 of them on my bag. I can hold 3. Okay, well, I guess this is it for the how to play. It's really easy once you know all your skills. And then on adventure, like I said, this is one-shot adventure, and on the campaign you will have these and not the level up track. So when you finish the adventure, the campaign book will tell you which encampment you can go to, and you can level up your hero by writing down on this note. Okay, writing down on this, and then you play the second adventure and everything else. All the interactions, we have different kinds of interactions with objects, static objects like this. We can interact with people, villains, friendly NPCs, and whatever. This will be like a 40-50 page interactions book. This will be really cool. In the whole campaign, it's about 50 hours long, around 50 hours long, depending on player count for the base game. And there's more hours on the expansions. We have a dragon expansion, and we have some more expansions along the campaign if people are asking for it. I guess that's it. Any doubts, any rules, mistakes that you guys are in doubt, just ask us. We're more than welcome to answer them. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.